Hello there and welcome to a new episode of Afterthoughts. My name is Wim Winters and tonight I've recorded again 4 etudes by Cramer. If you haven't seen the previous episodes about these Cramer Etudes, I will link them in the description box and in this video. So I will not talk too long about this edition, which is the manuscript that of the score, the printed score that Beethoven used, and there are remarks written down by Schindler, and some of them are signed by Beethoven. And so these 21 etudes, or the 80 of that Cramer made, were reprinted in this universal edition, and I will mention the edition as well. What I mentioned in the last episodes is that this music really brings you in contact with your instrument, whether you play clavichord or pianoforte or piano. It is music that forces you to make tone and the best sound or tone quality that you can get from your instrument. So we jumped right ahead to the etude itself. I just touched briefly some elements that crossed my mind. So the first one I did today was the F minor, number 16 in the original edition of Cramer. It's this one. So it's a very cantabile piece, as well in the right hand as in the left hand. And Beethoven, he writes here that obviously the left hand, the Bassfiguren, are the most difficult, and especially, and that's what he's talking all about. He's always talking about these accentuation pattern, long, short. So he says this is very difficult in the left hand, and he has written some marks in the score where he just indicates which notes have to be accentuated and which not. So that gives us a clue of what he wants, and he ends this quote by saying that these etudes, they give a solution for every difficulty in music, and that's great, and it's actually really true. You know, I'm recording these pieces, I'm practicing these pieces, and I can feel the change in my technique, in my approach to the instrument, and combining them with the inventions of Bach. As we're doing them together, I will record 6 of them tonight. So we may make 3 episodes tonight. Working on a schedule. I try to be a little bit relaxed with the schedule, so it's great to have some recordings ahead. But you feel the shape of your hand, and certainly the remarks of Beethoven as well, about accentuation and about this kind of modeling this music. I feel if I play the inventions that these remarks are working there as well, and it changes my approach a little bit. So I can only but recommend to you that you play these etudes, and maybe all 80. These are only 21, but there are other great etudes as well. It's really great music. So this etude in F minor is not the most difficult one, technically spoken, but in order to play both hands cantabile, it's not an easy task. The right hand obviously has a kind of independence towards compared to the left hand, so they both have their own saying. Left hand is the most important part, but it's especially difficult not to forget the right hand, because certainly these long notes are difficult. You shouldn't play it like this. So the left hand, while having an accent, even indicated by Beethoven, on that moment the right hand is releasing. So from an accentuated note, Vorschlag, to the solution. So left hand for the accentuated, and the right hand is just releasing. It's difficult. Sorry. not easy, you should try. But if you don't do this, or if I say differently, if you do this, if you just manage to have this note, this third released on the soft beat while the left hand is having an accent, you get this very beautiful three-dimensional kind of polyphonic feel, and that's what should give the listener, I hope at least, a kind of ease of listening, because you as a player, you guide your listener through the piece by doing this. So giving the right accents on the right moment, and not giving the accent that if the note is not important enough or is a solution from a voice line. Okay, so that continues, and the left hand is just flowing like a river actually through the right hand, but it is the right hand who is giving the drama to this F minor piece. It's very beautiful designed, so to speak. So, and another thing what's not easy is the beginning. You have this chord, broken chord of F minor. He jumps to the E, and then goes back to the F, and then jumps again lower to the C. But these are big jumps, and if you play big jumps rather fast, I mean, we're not playing this etude over fast, but it are 16th notes in a kind of normal tempo, moderato con espressione. So it's really not too fast. You really have to feel the quarter note structure. But even then these notes are fast. And if you don't give emphasis to these jumps, these intervals, then you miss in one way or another the F minor deep sorrow, sadness. I show you, if just by playing the left hand, played as an etude, as you would be forced to play an etude in high school or in conservatory. Shouldn't do it like that. That's no musical color, but now we will add some blackness to it just by emphasizing these big intervals. Listen carefully, and for me it's also an analysis of what I do, because often you're not thinking this in a very concrete way, you just feel it and you think about it, and I think in a kind of movement. Music should flow, and suddenly this is a kind of river. Then you hear that I accelerate a little bit, or otherwise said I come in the tempo just in the second or the third beat, and that gives a nice introduction to this piece, to this sentence, but gives also room for the intervals, to enhance the jumps. So like this. And I think in the early 19th century, Beethoven, but Cramer, Clementi certainly, I mean, and Cramer was a student of Clementi, they all started with that. And maybe even earlier, Mozart. I mean, we all make kind of ritordandos, we make some. It's the early romantic feeling. It will, of course, become much more in Chopin's time, which is only 1 or 2 decades later. If you go further, important for the left hand, it still has a harmonic function. So you will want to hear the G and the A flat and the A natural and the B. And in the left hand, and we talked about that often already, you have this division between fifth finger and the rest. You hold it. difficult, but you have to make every note sound. It's difficult. Okay, and so on. Then, the 18th is in D minor. This is, of course, kind of, it is real virtuosic music by that time, the early 19th century. And Beethoven again emphasizing here the strong and the weak notes. And he is on this 32 note structure. He even then writes long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. And long, short is not a kind of inégalité, at least as I feel it, with this accentuation. You get a kind of feel for as if you would play it inégal, but it's don't forget the left hand. That's something I really should mention. By playing it forte in the left hand and a good arpeggio, you add some color to this rather monotonic piece. It is a nice character. It's very simple, but it is always the same. Not saying that it is boring, but the left hand just adds something. The tempo of this piece, I don't think it's too fast. It's 2/4, and as a matter of fact, I think compared to what the original meaning of Cramer could have been, in my opinion, I think that I play on the fast side, but that's of course. The fingers are running over the keyboard. However, if you practice, and if I practice this very slow. And if you do that, it's very beneficial. You will see that the gain you make, the piece becomes much stronger, much firmer, technically spoken, if you do that. But if you play it slower, as I'm practicing, I always try to think fast. So play slow and think fast. That gives a very good balance in your head. It's very fatiguing for your concentration. So every note, you should feel it in advance with the right finger. And then you can make changes. Do the accentuation as you're supposed to do, or do it in the opposite around. I'm rather sure that back those days they didn't practice like that. They were not. I mean, there's not one word by Beethoven about the motorical skills you need to play this music. Or to practice. It's only about accentuation, about creating, performing, about interpreting this music, making something out of it. But that's the 20th and the 21st century. We're all supposed to play with not too many wrong notes, so you better practice it this way. Then the next one I did was number 21 here, so 21 of the original score. And there are some etudes between which are not signed by Beethoven. So it's this one. Very beautiful piece as well, again. And here again, what Beethoven writes is to find the trocheïsche versmaß. So the accentuation compared to poetry. And it's the whole piece the same. It's this. function, so it continues this kind of accompaniment. Very polite, very gentle, and the right hand you have to create a beautiful tone. So holding notes longer, making others shorter, but in any case, try to make the most beautiful sound you can get. Big jumps take a little bit of time. So also on the first beat, I just wait a little bit. So actually it's all the same in this whole etude. Then there's one that I didn't play tonight, in number 23. It's very difficult, very hard on clavichord. Maybe one day, but I feel this etude is more for the piano. You have jumps here, you have to position your hand in a way that doesn't feel right on the clavichord, but maybe if I look to it later, I change my opinion. But today I just skipped that, and then we have number 24, Commota, which again I played to my feel faster than it's meant to be. I think the tempo that's meant to be something like this. Beethoven writes, you have to hear this as if it is written like that. Why did I play it faster? Just I felt it faster today, and it's kind of challenging for my fingers as well on the clavichord. On the piano this is much easier, because certainly the grand piano, because you have much more room in the keys. Here you have to find your way between the smaller keys, and yeah, that's challenging, but I like the Commota tempo also a little bit faster. Not easy, I have to say. I have to practice this. Try to make notes longer to enhance them, because they make small melodies, small lines that creates depth and three-dimensional listening, I hope. You have, but you have also, so you fall on the first beat is very nice. Difficult. Beautiful to G minor. And then in your right hand you have the melody. Inevitably you have a division in your right hand, because you can't play this kind of cantabile, and it gets kind of unclear if you all play it legato. So I choose for a performance where I just articulate a little bit. And if you go further, then it is very difficult. Also to find these accents in this fast note. So is a very difficult piece, and it requires all kind of techniques you can imagine to play it on the clavichord. So it's very good. Don't play it as fast as I do if you don't feel happy with that. Just play it slower, and I think that can be also very beautiful. It's just I followed my fingers in this, and maybe one day I do it differently. So, as I said, tonight I'm going to record the inventions, 6 inventions. There's one published, 3 are published on the internet a few days ago. Number 4, 5 and 6 are ready for publication, so we recorded that 1 week ago, and now we do the next 6 inventions, and then there are 3 left. So still a long night to go, but it's very exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this on Cramer. We'll do 4 more on Cramer, and then later on you see what we do with the rest that's not in this edition, because I find it so interesting. Okay, thank you for watching. Don't hesitate to write questions or to ask things that you want me to address, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends over the world. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.